Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Sanamio, and I wanted to take the time to get you started on your assignment this morning. So, we're looking in our Envisions hardback book. This is your Envisions hardback book. We are going to open to page 172 and 173 in your hardback book. You will notice that the lesson is on division as sharing. So, again, this is page 172 and 173. When you are starting off make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to put our heading on our paper. So please make sure you put your name in the top right-hand corner of your paper along with today's date, which is December 7th, 2020. And please also show me or write down the page number for this assignment. That helps me out a lot, so I do appreciate it when you guys do that. And we are going to be taking a look at problems 1 through 17. So, I'm going to start you off. Not going to do all the problems, I'm just going to start you off. So, we're going to look at problem number 1. And if you notice here, we are asking to share these objects. So it says 3 friends have 12 toys to share equally. How many toys will each person get? So if you remember back to our lesson video, we are going to take the 12 toys and put them into 3 equal groups. So we're using division. And division is an operation that is used to find about how many equal groups or how many objects are in each group. So it's the opposite of multiplication. So we're going to take a look at our first problem, and our first problem, is number 1. You have 15 bananas, and you're going to take those 15 total bananas and we're going to break them up into groups, which are the boxes, and we want to know how many bananas are in each box. So we're going to write our division equation. We're going to start off with our 15 bananas. Just going to put a B here for bananas. Actually, let's put a BA. And we're going to put those bananas into equal groups. These are the boxes. And we want to know how many bananas are in each box. So, we know we have 3 groups, and we can start placing bananas into the boxes, and as we go along, we're going to count up to 15 as we go and place a banana, or in this case, I'm going to put a tally mark for each banana. That's going to represent that banana. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 15 bananas, and if you notice, I have 5 in each box. So if I take these 15 and put them into 3 groups, the box is considered the group, there are going to be 5 bananas in each box. Now, notice that you can use multiplication, and so we're going to use multiplication to check our work. So if you look at your picture that you just drew, we have 3 groups. We have 5 bananas in each group, and if we count 5, 10, 15, we get a total of 15 total bananas. So we are using our multiplication to check our division. So this is going to be box 1, box 2, and box 3. Okay, number 2. Skip a line. Number 2 is, take a look at the problem. It says there are 16 plants, and we're going to put those plants into 4 pots equally. How many plants will there be in each pot? So we're sharing the 16 plants into 4 pots. So we're going to write our division sentence. We're going to take the total plants and we're going to share them equally into the pots. And we want to know how many plants are going to be in each pot. Now, what makes this so much easier is if we know our multiplication facts. But for today, we're going to use our drawing to help us with our assignment today. So we have the 4 pots, and I'm going to share, and notice that each bar is going to be considered a pot. This is going to be pot 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I'm going to share these 16 plants equally into each of these pots. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and finally 16. So my 16 total plants are being broken up into 4 equal groups, and I would have 4 in each group. So I can come back up here and my quotient is going to be 4 because I have 4 plants in each group. Again, we're going to check with multiplication. So I have 4 groups. There's 4 in each group. And if I count by 4s, I have 4, 8, 12, 16. I have 16 total plants. So remember, you're checking your division by using multiplication. Number 3 is a bar diagram, and it asks us to complete the bar diagram. So you'll notice that they're taking 18 of something and they're putting it into 3 equal groups. We want to know how many are going to be in each group. Whereas before, we would see how many are in each group and we would be trying to figure out the total. Now we're just working backwards and opposite of multiplication. So I'm going to take my 18 objects, whatever those may be, and I'm going to break them up into 3 equal groups, and I want to know how many are going to be in each group. So, using the tape diagram, sometimes they call them a tape diagram, sometimes they call it a bar diagram. We're going to model this. We're going to take these 18 objects and divide them equally into these 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now that we've gotten our total of objects broken up, now we can find how many are in each group. So if you notice, I have a 5 and 1, 5 and 1, 5 and 1 makes 6 in each group. Again, I can check my multiplication, check my division using multiplication. So I have 3 groups. There are 6 objects in each group, and 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 more gives me my 18 total objects. So again, I'm using my understanding of multiplication to check my division. Number 4 is a explaining problem. So please be sure to write part of your answer into your question. For number 4, it's asking us to communicate. And it asks us, can 12 grapes be shared equally among 5 children? Now remember, your dividend is going to be your multiples. So think about your multiples of 5. Is 12 a multiple of 5? Well, let's take a look. So I'm going to take 12 grapes. And actually, I want to do this a little neater. I'm going to skip a line. And I'm going to take those 12 grapes, and I'm going to put a G for grapes here. And I'm going to share those equally, or arrange them or sort them between these children. So I'm going to put a CH4, or actually, let's just write out children. All right, now we want to know, can these be shared equally? That means, does each child get the same number of grapes equally for each child? I should say not for in. We're not going to put the grapes in the children. It's just going to be for each child. So I'm going to model this. I'm going to do a bar for each one of the children. So each one of these bars is being considered a child. Child 1, child 2, child 3, child 4, child 5. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and finally number 5. And I'm going to break up or split apart these 12 grapes into equal groups. So I start to sort and share 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, if we look at the number of grapes for each child, you can see here there are 3 and 3 here, but the rest of the children have only 2. So can these grapes be shared equally between the 5 children? So we could say no. And since 12 is not a multiple of 5, we should know that 12 is not going to be a dividend that we can use to break apart 12 into 5 equal pieces or 5 equal parts. So we would say no, 12 grapes, because it says to explain, cannot or can't be shared equally because, for one, 12 isn't a multiple of 5. Or we can say there aren't enough to share equally. So in order for us to in order for every child to get 3 grapes, we would need 3 more grapes to be able to share them equally, and the same number of grapes be given to each child. So this would actually have to be 15 instead of 12. So there's many different ways that you could explain that. You could say no, she would need 3 more grapes in order to be able to share them equally with the 5 children. You could also say you would have to take 2 grapes away. If she had 10, she could also share them equally, and then every child would have 2 grapes. But as long as you're explaining your thinking as to why she's not able to share 12 grapes equally. So that's getting you started for today. You're going to continue your lesson and working on your problems on these 2 pages. So you're going to show your work. You're going to do 5 through 12 here on page 172. Then on page 173, you're going to write to explain. So please make sure you're modeling your work by drawing and then explaining your work by using an answer statement. Is he correct? So this is going to be yes, he is correct, or no, he is not correct. And you need to make sure you draw a picture to help you. For number 14, Joy has 12 shells. She gives 2 to her mom. Then she and her sister share the rest equally. This one's a little complicated because she's giving 2 to mom. So this is actually like a 2-step problem. You're going to have to think about this. How many shells does Joy get? How many shells does her sister get? So notice it doesn't ask how many mom gets because of the fact that they already gave mom what she wanted and you're sharing the rest with between the 2 sisters. Be sure to draw a picture. And number 15, the astronauts were on each Apollo spacecraft. How many astronauts in all were on the 9 Apollo spacecrafts that orbited the moon? So notice it says 3 astronauts here. And finally, if you look at this model here, it's asking you to choose which of these equations is going to match using the number of stickers. And you also have for number 17, the flag bearers march in 9 rows with 5 people in each row. Each person is carrying 1 flag. Write a number sentence to show how many flags there are. Now, we're not taking the flags, we don't know how many flags there are, and putting them into groups. We have to find out how many flags there are. So we're looking for a total. So this is not a division problem, this is multiplication because we're looking for the total. We're not sharing the total. So just be aware that that problem is not necessarily division. It is going to be multiplication. So if you have any other questions about your assignment, please don't hesitate to put them into the Schoology. And we will go over these tomorrow during class meeting time. So like I said, if you have any other questions, don't forget you can message me in Schoology. Have a great day and make sure you show your work. Bye guys.